Hey guys, House here, and welcome back. Today we're going to be focusing on colonizing Liguria and Bononia. This area up here is called Gallia Cisalpina, and it's inhabited by the local Celts and Gauls, I believe. So yes, we will be moving our troops in, our Velites, as soon as they're finished recruiting, and then we will begin as well. At the same time, we're going to begin building up our fleet to take out the Carthaginians. And we'll also be fighting Epirus if we can. So, fleet should be getting larger. Ambition fulfilled. They're getting married. I think we're going to have a battle on our hands right here. Fact. Let's see what happens. Indeed, we do have a battle against Epirus' fleet here, and we seem to be winning. Not bad. These guys are already almost done being recruited. We're getting good combat results right now. That's excellent. And they've already lost several ships. We're going to continue pursuing this Epirus fleet. And the Carthaginians seem to have joined in on the fray. Hopefully they don't get our ships confused with Epirus's. Alright, so they lost 4 ships. And they are moving to the Agates Insulae, so we'll pursue them and finish them off. Alright, so our Velites are completed. We're going to begin moving them into the frontier. And then let me explain to you how this works after this battle. I like to pursue them. You could read here where they're going to arrive at, and then you just follow them. Okay, so we place disposable units like Velites. Place them in the wilderness, and then that's going to start angering the locals, more or less. So we're basically pushing them off their land, and Rome is beginning to create settlements of their own in these lands. Now, let's finish these guys. Now, in order to colonize, you have to pretty much get rid of the barbarian power in the provinces first. Second most, you must have a province next to the province you wish to colonize that has at least 50% civilization in those regions. We finished off their fleet. Excellent. We'll send them into Lucania for repairs. After you have a 50% bonus, you also need to have a province with at least 10 citizens. And if you just hover your mouse cursor over any of these citizen numbers, it'll give you the total population. For instance, this one has 25 people. Slaves, freemen, and citizens. Now that Epirus' fleet is dealt with, we don't have to worry about them ever invading. So I'm going to move the 1st Legion to Umbria alongside the 2nd Legion in Etruria. See, our Velites are in place. And now there's a horde chance. As you can see, we just had Barbarians rise up in Liguria. The Barbarians of Insubres. So that's the name of the tribe. Now, they're probably going to wipe this unit out. That happens. But if not, we might be able to pull them back. Alright, so we were able to pull them back. Excellent. We lost quite a few men, and now the barbarians are on the attack. They're moving to Etruria to confront Rome. You know, as Carthage is fighting against Epirus, I'm paying attention to how many ships they have, the size of the armies that they're using. Any cues that I can take from Carthage, I'm going to be using against them in the coming Punic War. Alright, we have peace offers from Epirus. After we smashed his fleet, he decides he wants peace. And historically, when Pyrrhus declared peace with Rome, he said, "I now leave this great battlefield to Rome and Carthage." So, indeed he has. The Senate's not entirely in favor of this. So, I will accept it, however. I want to focus on Liguria and Bononia. Alright, so if we come over here to our government, we click on our consul, he took a small popularity hit. And you can see he's becoming more and more unpopular because of the war. I believe... Are we still at war with anybody? No, we're not at war with anybody. Okay. Also, we should invoke an omen. When this icon up here comes up, it's time to invoke an omen. For better or for worse. Now, I'm going to invoke population growth. Hopefully this goes through. Let's cross our fingers. It succeeded. Excellent. So, population growth across all of Rome has increased by 4.5%, which is excellent because a lot of these provinces only have a base of 1 unless they're getting grain, and then the censors add a little bit more on top of that. So we want our population to grow. The faster it grows, the stronger Rome gets. Also, when we're adding population to our territories when they're just naturally growing, the fringe territories start getting more migrants, and they're able to get to that 10 population required in order to colonize the next round of provinces. So we'll just be expanding in layers. And some areas are less civilized than others. For instance, these areas up here, like Paleoventi, is only 25% civilized. Bonovia, however, is next to one of our Roman provinces, and you can see its civilization is increased by plus 0.06 from the neighbors being Etruria and Umbria. So the higher the civilization of these two provinces, the faster this province will gain civilization, etc. And all these provinces, for instance, Macedonia is relatively civilized, so it's impacting all of these. So it's the natural, let's see, we completely wiped out the barbarians here. So Macedonia is civilized, so it's a natural expansion for Rome to move along the civilized areas and expand, only expanding into the uncivilized areas far later into the game, and then taking over already civilized areas just by brute force. There's no colonization necessary for these areas. Okay, so we completely wiped out the barbarian horde that moved into Etruria. Who was commanding that legion? Lucius Aemilius Barbula is commanding that legion, which is interesting because here we now have units loyal to Lucius Aemilius Barbula. So our consul now has units loyal explicitly to him. So if he ever causes a civil war, these units will join him in his civil war. Also, I cannot disband these units. These units, they are now his, and he pays upkeep for them. Loyal units and the maintenance cost. So these units come out of his pocket. They're not loyal to Rome anymore. They're loyal to Barbula. Now that's very interesting. That's key, because the more units he has, the less loyal he will become. Okay? So when you have more military power, why would you owe an allegiance to Rome when you are a military power in your own right? You could take over Rome and cause a civil war. Alright, so they were defeated. And because we defeated those barbarians, we gained no gold. They weren't carrying much wealth, but we enslaved them, and we captured 0.7 slaves. And then that is added to population counts throughout Rome. The slaves are added to Rome. So that's one way of getting slaves. Now, another important aspect of slaves is if we come over here to the Civic Faction, look at the Civic Faction there. The Civic Faction is growing stronger, mainly because we have a lack of slaves, to the degree that it's creating 8% political attraction towards the Civic Faction. The Civic Faction, they grow more powerful when Rome doesn't have the slaves it requires to build Rome. So that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's definitely a good thing when the Civic Faction's in power. So having a lack of slaves encourages the Civic Faction. They want more slaves, so they want more power in the Senate so that they can control how the wars are going and bringing in more slaves to Rome. Okay, so now that Liguria has been pacified, we can begin sending population from internal provinces here to establish a new colony on the boundaries of our empire. Okay, so now, as you can see, colony will be finished 11th of August, 475. Excellent. And with that, we will send the Velites back into Liguria, just to hold it for now. And we'll wait for the same thing to happen in Bononia. Just looking at the world right now, it looks like the Seleucids and Egypt are at war. I believe they always start the game off at war. I'm not entirely sure, but they're definitely at war. And it looks like Egypt is winning right now. Alright. Gaius Fabius Licinius was elected as consul. He's part of the Civic Faction. I was just talking about the Civic Faction. They give a negative 25% cost to building and the build time, and they improve the national tax modifier, so we'll be making much more money. As you can see, taxation is at 3.93. That is awesome. And we still need to get those trade routes finished. Let's see here. Gaius Fabius Licinius. This was one of his ambitions to become a ruler. So he's gained 50 family prestige, and because he's been a ruler now, he's gained 1 charisma. So allowing your Romans to participate and achieve their life's objectives, they become better leaders. If they wanted to become a legate, and you gave them a position of legate, they would gain 1 in marshal, for instance. So if you want to create better military leaders, allow the people that want to be legates to become legates. Alright. So we're going to continue expanding our fleet here. We now have 10 ships. Now, if we go over here to military, we can look at our armies. And we can also see the support limit. This is how many ships Rome can adequately support without the maintenance costs increasing exponentially. So if we keep our ships under or at 37 or below, then we won't take a percentage increase to the maintenance costs per ship over 37. So you can have more than 37 ships. It's going to get exponentially more expensive. See, we could fit in another 9 units or so. I think we're going to create a 3rd legion right now. So we'll come over here to Etruria, and we will recruit. Let's see, we got 9. We can create 9 units. This is going to be a smaller legion. Let's see here, or maybe I'll just beef up the 1st and the 2nd legions. All right, we'll create 3 Princeps here, and that's all the money that we have for now. So we'll gradually start growing those legions and our fleet. speed it up a little bit. See, Macedonia, they're at war with Tylus to the north. This is odd. Usually Macedonia is quite strong. They have a large army, but they must have lost a battle. And that's their capital city, so that's not going to bode well for them. Here's another interesting thing I can show you guys while we're waiting for things to happen. Rome has 62.3 citizens right now. They actually start with 65, I believe. Carthage over here has 60.2. Alright, so I think they start with 65. They might not. Anyways, populations migrate all over the place, right? So as we bring in more slaves, the population of Rome and the other areas will continue to grow. But we could look at the population of other cities. This is why Carthage was such a opposing power to Rome. They were also a very large city. Appius Claudius Sacus, he's passed away. He was a member of the Civic Faction. And we have successfully created a colony in Liguria. So now this is a Roman colony. Now, the difference between a colony, a Roman colony, and a Roman province is that the local culture and their religion is still the local barbarians' culture and religion. As you can see over here, culture is Etruscan, religion is Roman. Roman. Once the religion here turns to Roman, then they will become a Roman province. Also, I think the population of the colony needs to at least be 5. 5 people need to have moved into the colony. So, the sooner we get 5 people in there, the better. Alright. And we should have, yeah, we're having a new army being created. Excellent. Alright. And with that, our troop limit went up. Numerius Fabius Pictor, Praetor, he had a child. Excellent. Which reminds me, we have technology slots. Yes, one is left open. I believe that was the man that passed away. Okay. So, somebody should want to be an army quaestor. Army quaestor. Here we go. Alright. For this, it's martial and charisma to become an effective army quaestor. Let's look at that real quick. Oh, we can't. Now this is going to impact the organization of our armies, etc., so it's important to pick a good man if possible. It's also important to pick somebody who is... Let's see here. Now this man's a member of the Populist faction. He has 17 points into it, but if we appoint him as army quaestor, that's a military position. He's going to gain 5 martial conviction. So we could possibly turn Licinius Papyrus Cursor into a member of the military faction. His loyalty is rather low as well. I think we're going to try that. I know Publius Decimus Mus must really want it. However, this man here is actually better. So let's see if we can convert him. There we go. Oh, civic conviction gain. Okay, he didn't gain army. He gained military. He gained civic. Well, he's still a populist. Overall, not too bad though. At least he's moving towards a different direction. Gaining some faction points in a different direction is good. Yes, those trade routes. Let's get them up, shall we? Yeah, Epirus is taken over. We can't trade with them. When a colony gets taken over, or when a province gets taken over by another power, trade is ended, I believe. Yeah, see, we can't trade with them. Basically blockaded. Alright. We have all these areas here. No trade here. Wow. Okay. So I could trade. Here we go. Perhaps we can trade with them and get some more papyrus. Now, let's see which one has the most citizens. Apulia here has the most citizens. Let's try for Apulia. And then Macedonia, but they were just conquered, that's why that's free. And they're free up there, so we could try for fish. Fish is going to give us extra manpower, I believe. Yeah, so increased manpower in the province. Okay. So let's trade for Tarentum. And let's see what happens. So yes, the papyrus for grain, that's the one I really wanted, so we got that one. Excellent. And now we should just, I think I'm going to have Ager Brutus trade with Tarentum, like so. Yeah, and that should work. Now Liguria can't, well, let's see. I don't believe Liguria can trade. Yeah, Liguria can't trade. It can't trade yet. It could trade probably next door with Etruria, but it can't trade overseas yet because it's just a colony. It doesn't have the infrastructure built up yet. Alright. So we continue to push the Gauls out of Gallia Cisalpina. And this was actually a war. Romans considered this a war, and this little war, basically colonization, really, pretty much that's how Romans acted throughout the rest of their history. They would come into an area, kick out the locals, establish Roman colonies in the areas, and convert anybody that had not left into Romans. So they'll follow that throughout the course of this game. Okay. Excellent. Yes, when they get married, they get religious conviction. Also, when they have sons, they also get religious conviction, which is excellent. It's better that they have some conviction other than populace. So the populace faction is starting to decline, and our men are getting married. Now, if we complete this, this is the missions and decisions area. If we complete this mission, controlling Carthage, we will gain, our consul will gain 1 marshal, and he will also gain 10 popularity, and we will gain, as Rome, will gain 60 gold. Here we go. Barbarians have arisen. And we're no longer trading wine for iron from Etruria to Emporion. That's too bad, because they had a rebellion here. That's why. Okay. So, let's handle this up here. Let's try to pull our men out if possible. There we go. I like to pull them out. If you don't pull them out, they might get fully wiped out. We don't want that. So they're just our skirmishers. Uh-oh. Here, let me pause it, guys. Alright, and we're back. Sorry about that. I had a little email there. Okay, the Battle of Umbria. The Barbarians were pushed out. However, we're not going to let them get that far. We're going to follow them. And I'm going to detach a smaller force to go and pursue them. You can see here, Gaius Fabricius Licinius, he's gained more men who are loyal to him. That's concerning. We got to watch that. We got to pay attention to that. Alright, so what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have him resign now. Thank you for your service. He doesn't want to be a legate anymore anyways. He wants to serve as a censor. So maybe we can make that happen. Could have him resign. Let's see here. Censor. Service censor. Okay. Off you go. You're a censor now. And then over here, maybe we can have another man as censor. No, he's happy with his position in life right now. Alright. So we had this army here. Anyone want to be a legate? Gaius Fabius Licinius, our current consul, wants to become a legate. He is not the best martial prowess type of person. However, we will allow him. And in fact, we'll have him pursue the barbarians into Bononia. You can say he gained finesse for becoming censor, and Gaius Fabius Licinius gained martial for becoming a legate. So now he's a little better. Actually, he's pretty good everywhere else except for martial. And it's time to invoke another omen. So let's try for Blessing of Mars. Now, this is what happens when Blessing of Mars fails. So we basically have those negative effects on us now. And I want to continue building ships, so we'll spend the remaining money that we have on ships. These areas all are able to build ships. There we go, Samnium can build ships as well. They all have access to the resource wood. Alright, so 7 units under Gaius Fabius Licinius are going there, and then I'm going to show you what happens when you don't appoint a legate to a unit. Yes, these men here. These men here can go to Rome, where I'm going to continue building a new army, heavy infantry, and then I'll support them with archers later. Alright, when you don't have a leader in one of the legions, the Senate, with their wisdom, might appoint one themselves. So, you don't want to keep leaders in charge of units for too long, as the more victories they have, the more loyal units that they'll accumulate. Alright. Thinking we're going to have a few less qualified individuals become legates right now. I know he wants to have a son. However, I just want Lucius Aemilius Barbula to resign for now. Now, this man only has a martial skill of 3, so he's not that great. Oh, we lost the battle. See, he lost already. And where are those barbarians heading to? They're heading to Umbria, where we currently have no leader. Aha! So we'll move the 2nd Legion there, and I guess we'll appoint a leader for now. Now, with the 2nd Legion, they should be able to hold it. You can see here that there's a gigantic barbarian horde of 17 units roaming in Vocanti, attacking Massilia. That's very bad. I might have to go over here and get rid of the barbarians. I think Massilia has been sending troops out. See, barbarian hordes get larger and larger as they get pushed out. So if these kingdoms over here are pushing out barbarians, the barbarians could grow larger as they make a trail towards Rome. So you can get these gigantic barbarian hordes that come and pillage Rome. Alright, so now we have quite a large force here. Yes, and we wiped them out. And we got 0.6 slaves captured as a result. So we'll do a little swap here. Move the Velites back in, we'll colonize the province. We'll move this unit over here to merge. And we'll move the Principes back down to Rome. That is a large unit. I'm considering marching there and helping out our allies. They pay us tribute. If they're no longer there, then they won't be paying us tribute. Let's do that. We'll merge the army into one giant legion yet again, and we'll fight them. Excellent. Now let's look at our technology yet again. Alright, now we have all these men, their terms have expired, except for Gaius Sempronius Blasius expects to hold this office for life. Really? I don't ever recall the Pontifex Maximus position to be held for life. Maybe it's because he's dumb. Interesting that he thinks he could hold it for life. That's not going to be the case. We might have to kick this guy out of Pontifex Maximus. Alright, so this man here, the Navy Quaestor, we're going to find a new Navy Quaestor. We have 3 individuals here. Lucius Posthumius Magellus. He looks like the right man for the job. So his loyalty would go up. And this man here, let's see, this is the Aedile. Quite a few individuals want to be Aedile as well. This takes charisma. Here we go. He's an inventor. He's perfect for the job. Quintus Ogulnius Gallus. He will become our new Aedile. And then this man over here is the Praetor. Let's see if anybody wants to become Praetor. 2 individuals raise their hands. We have Gaius Claudius Cania, Populist faction member, or Spurvius Carvilius Maximus. They both want a title. This man's loyalty is much lower. He's lustful, he's sarcastic and suspicious. I'm gonna go with Gaius Claudius Canian. I know he's populist, however, we have to try. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then this man over here expects to hold it for life. That's not the case. We will appoint a new Pontifex Maximus right now, just to set the rules straight. This is a republic, not a tyranny. Alright, so a man with high charisma. Appuleius Claudius Caudex. See how, let's see, 18 for Populist faction and 18 for Populist faction. Interesting. He's quite unloyal. I think we're going to choose Tiberius Otacilius Crassius. Alright, there you go. It's all set. The armies should be merging soon. Look at all that civic gain, religious gain, civic conviction gain. It's excellent. Alright, they're becoming better leaders because of it as well. One giant army under Gaius Fabius Licinius. Was he a good leader? No, he was pretty horrible, wasn't he? Alright, well, we'll take our horrible leader over here and hopefully rout these barbarians from Macedonia. This is quite a large battle that we're about to have. One of our former consuls passed away. It's too bad. Form up legion. Trade routes keep falling apart right now. There's a lot of war going on. You have to pay attention to that. Etruria. So we got grain, excellent, and all of these were refused. So maybe we can make an internal trade route. No, we can't. Okay. Gosh, it just happened again. Yeah, quite a few things going on in the world that are negative. Rome has to be provided with grain. Trade with the Carthaginians. They agree. One of the rare days that Rome actually trades with Carthaginians. Oh, maybe not. Maybe we won't be trading with the Carthaginians. And that's rebelled. Oh, we'll just hold on for now. Actually, do we have any internal? Yeah, we have that. We have that. Yeah, those are good trade routes. Okay. Gaius, Fabius, Licinius. Hey, wait, hold on a second. What happened here? Do you see this? Macedonia came back. I'm guessing that they were able to quell the Barbarians there. Interesting. So trade routes should be able to open back up now with them. Let's grab that wine. Excellent. They agreed. You know, I'm also considering improving our relations with Egypt. They have a lot of trade here that I would enjoy. Let's see here. Perhaps we can offer them... it's very expensive to improve relations with Egypt, apparently. They're a very large empire. Alright, so I don't need to move this massive army out there that's taking attrition. Ugh. Yeah, let's get it out of there. And let's continue building our fleet and consolidating all of our ships. Lucania, more triremes. I have a trade proposal. We'll accept. I thought we already made that trade. Apparently not. There's pirates out in the sea there. Pirates will basically stop trade, so you'll have to send ships there to route the pirates from the area if you want to trade there. Yes, I am hoping that they just make a white peace with Epirus. Excellent. Bononia has been settled. This is great news for all Romans. Bononia has been settled. Excellent. I think we'll have them stay in Lucania. Yes. Alright. Actually, you know what? I'm going to split this army in two again. Let's see how many. It's 19, so 10. 6, 7, 10. And then 3 archers for now. Oops, one too many. We'll make it a full unit, why not? And then this larger unit will go to Bononia. And then after those 2 units are in place, I'm going to send units out into these areas here to quell out more barbarians. Alright, so we've successfully expanded into the 2 provinces. That's excellent. We're building up our fleet. We're getting more ships. We're going to need those for when we start the Punic War. And my objectives for the Punic War are pretty much historical. I want to take over Sicily, or at least Carthaginian Sicily, whatever's there when we're able to, and also Sardinia and Corsica. So if I can take those 3 provinces, I'd be happy. If I can get in Malta and Belarus at the same time, that would be great as well. But we will have to try and pillage Carthage, since that is the mission here. So we will come over here and try to conquer the state of Carthage. I don't even think that the Carthaginians would surrender unless we did do that anyways. So they would just hold out. But overall, I think we're doing pretty well. Alright guys, I'm Ryehouse, thank you for joining me. Tune in next time where we continue expanding aggressively to the north, where we can consider absorbing our ally, and prepare for the war against Carthage. Okay, catch you guys next time.